The Thin Red Line is an introspective film that follows the lives of a group of Allied soldiers fighting in the Pacific theater of World War II. The film explores the relationship between war and nature and poses existential questions portrayed through the various personalities depicted in the film. The war scene reflected in the film is the Battle of Guadalcanal in the Solomon Islands, a conflict waged as a counter-offensive attack by Allied forces, primarily the US against the Japanese, and it was a brutal 6-month struggle to regain control of a vital strategic location in the Pacific. The film, however, does not depict an accurate representation of the Battle of Guadalcanal. There is no attempt to create a historical account of actual events, but rather the film portrays the internal struggles and moral dilemmas of the soldiers in the multifaceted and complex field of battle. Ultimately, the soldiers in consideration are reflecting on their own mortality and the problem of evil. The men involved in this war have conflicting ideas about the realities of nature, and each carries their own motives based on these presuppositions. Let's now critically reflect on the various propositions of war in relation to man shown in the film. We see through the eyes of Private Witt a soldier who dares to believe in, quote, the beautiful light. He is a man of faith and is able to rise above the malevolence of evil, because for all our flaws, he believes that man is good as nature is also. So he reflects on the following about the nature of evil. This great evil, where does it come from? How did it still enter the world? What seed, what root did it grow from? Who's doing this? Who's killing us, robbing us from light and life? Ultimately, he is a man searching for meaning, and he's really asking, why does evil exist if nature is good? We find he is wrestling with the problem of evil, a theological and philosophical question, often raised in reflection to the human atrocities and malevolence that are most evident in times of war. The film also commentates on the unforgiving nature of war. At any moment, despite all the training, courage, and toughness in the world, in any one moment your life can end. This fuels characters in the film to take the nihilistic viewpoint, that nature and the evil in it leaves little to no hope that this suffering is justifiable. What difference do you think you can make, one single man in all this madness? If you die, it's going to be for nothing. There's not some other world out there where everything's going to be okay. There is just this world. For others, nature is as cruel as a mercenary and promotes the idea that each man should only seek for his own in the world, an egotistical pursuit to take what's yours before everything else is taken from you. Evidently, this is portrayed in the following relay. Look at this jungle. Look at these vines, the way they twine around the trees, swallowing everything. Nature's cruel. This viewpoint understands war to be a fundamental part of nature and is supported in history because wars have always existed, and as long as states exist, if they're conflicting ideologies or interests, they will seek to submit to the other to their own will. This aligns with Clausewitz's theory, as war is thus an act of force to compel our enemy to do our will. This realist perspective emphasizes the anarchic nature of the world system, and it, like in the film, Colonel Tor must put his own needs first and leaves little empathy for his men, and stands firmly against any moral objections. The film also proposes the notion that human life in the arena of battle is something resembling a game of chance. No matter how much training you got, how careful you are, it's a matter of luck whether or not you get killed. Makes no difference who you are, how tough a guy you might be. You're in the wrong spot at the wrong time, you're going to get it. Clausewitz also proposed something similar. No other human activity is so continuously or universally bound up with chance. The soldiers' remorse is that their lives are being gambled with, and they are not even afforded a fair chance of survival. Psychologically, this reveals for a soldier that any moment might be his last, and this trauma is something they often bring back to societies post-war. Clausewitz did acknowledge the devastating impact of war on individuals and societies, and he recognized that war could have a profound and lasting impact on both the visitors and the defeated. Clausewitz recognized the chaos and unpredictability of war in his theory, and it aligns with the film's depiction on the futility of war and the impact of violence and death on the individuals involved.